I was friends with the ghost. When I was around the age of 4, I had a demon as a friend. Her name was Dorothy, and she didn't look like most ghosts I would see. She had purple hair that was always in twin braids. She wore a black dress that went down to her ankles, and her eyes and mouth were completely blacked out. And you couldn't see her tongue or teeth, just darkness and palish skin. But I was never scared of her. She protected me and my sister from a dark figure that lived in our house with us. The figure was constantly trying to kill us and drag us down to hell, but it obviously feared her, so it left us alone. But Dorothy also made people believe that I was psychotic because she would ask me to kill my classmates and random people on the streets. She also gave me really detailed ways of how to dispose of the corpse, like drowning it in acid until it became ashes, and put the ashes in a tea pitcher inside the fridge so my family would drink it. But I never ended up killing anyone, even though I hurt them and drew plans to murdering them in my drawing books. Everyone at school feared me, but I never understood why, until I got a bit older and realized how terrifying it had to be for them to sit in a room with another child trying to plan out their death. But for the most part, Dorothy was nice. She helped me laugh when I cried, and even played with me when my sister didn't feel like it. But each night, she brought me out of the house, and we walked down to a pond down the street from my house, and she would sink, telling me, "Don't worry, dear child, I will be back in the morning, but I have to go home now." But only when she said that, she sounded like an adult. But any other time of the day, she sounded like a child. My mom used to believe she was an imaginary friend of mine, but I went under the bed and in the closet with her, and even creepier, I would sit in the corner of my parents' room and watch them sleep. Dorothy also taught me how to work guns when I was 5, but my parents never found out. My sister didn't know who Dorothy was for a while, but she found out when Dorothy took form of a laundry basket in her room one day and started laughing, which had my sister frozen in fear until I said, "Hi, Dorothy," which scared her even more, but she started to ease up when Dorothy started talking. "It's fine, I'm Sabrina's friend, and I want to be your friend too," in a sweet child's tone. My sister ended up being friends with her too in the end, but one day, I never got to see her again. It was the normal night for me. Walk down to the pond with Dorothy so she can go home, but this time she was crying out this black liquid, and it looked almost like her eyes were melting, and she seemed hesitant to go back but also scared at the same time. I asked her why she was crying, but she gave no response. So when we got down there for her to go home for the very last time, she said something different. She hugged me and began to sink like every day, but she said this, "Bye, my sweet child. I'm sorry, but I won't be able to see you for a while, but I will be back one day." Then she broke out in maniacal laughter and tears, but when her chin touched the water, the laughing stopped, and her face started to flake and break like porcelain, and she started screaming, and she told me to run, so I did, and I never saw Dorothy again. But I always felt bad about it because I felt like it was a child that drowned that night, but she wasn't a child. She just took form of one. I don't know when she will come back, but it's been a few years, and I've had that question running through my head for a while now.